What is up, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to the 18th episode of the All Things Sports Talk podcast. I am your host, Ryan Sizer. Today we have a very special guest. It is FAU's defensive lineman, number two, Wilky Denaud. How you doing, my guy?
Doing good. How about yourself, bro?
Doing good. Thank you very much for coming on. You guys have a big game today up in Maryland. How you guys feeling?
I'm feeling excited, I mean, we've been working all off season, trying to change the culture, trying to build some standards around this FAU team. So like I feel like it's gonna all come together, and it's gonna be an exciting game for everybody.
Yes, so talking about, changing the culture. You guys have a new head coach in charge by the name of Zach Kittley. He coached tons of NFL guys such as Patrick Mahomes. What do you like so much about Zach's culture down there so far in FAU?
I mean, he's young, so like he relates to us. He understands everything we go through on a daily basis just because of he's not too far off from being, one of us, and he's coached it for a long time. So that was one thing when he came in, he preached he was going to take care of us. He was going to take care of our bodies. He was going to do all these things to, just put us in the best way possible to succeed.
Yes, sir. Well, you must love hearing that as a football player. And he's the youngest head coach in all of college football. Talking about being so young, he is not afraid of the new playing style. He said on defense, we're going to stop that scoreboard, and on offense, we're going to run it up. You're a defensive guy. How did you get into football?
Really, I was young, just wanting to try every sport. I tried basketball first, had a love for that. Then I went into playing football. Um, Sorry, screen is
You're
crazy.
good.
Can you see me?
No, I cannot.
There you
You're
go.
good.
Yeah, so I just started off playing, young, playing every sport. Felt with a great love for it, and then played Pop Warner. We won some championships and stuff like that, and then we go to high school, and it just takes off from there. Starting off with my like getting my first offers as a freshman, it's not common, so it was just like something that I know I could really take off with, and do it at the highest level possible.
You mentioned that it's not common getting your first offer in high school as a freshman. Well, you had a lot of offers in college coming out of high school, going into college. You could have gone pretty much anywhere you wanted. You had offers from Miami, FSU, Auburn. You ultimately commit to Auburn. What was the deciding factor to commit to Auburn as in high school?
It was really just like, going up on the visits, talking to the coaches, building a relationship over time that eventually led to me, wanting to be a family home there. Coach Rock, me and him have a great relationship with each other. It was just one of the main deciding factors is do I have a coach that can, you know, take care of me and, you know, be my second family while I'm not with my main family at the time.
Well, we love hearing that. And then from Auburn, you transferred to another school, but we don't have to get much into that. But then you went to FAU. Coach Rock is also he was at FAU. Did him being at FAU help you go there? And what did you like so much about FAU?
Yeah, when Coach Rock came here, it was just like, okay, I know what he's capable of doing. I know the relationship me and him had, and it was just kind of something that allowed me to, feel like I could trust in him and trust in his system. So just coming here was, wasn't a hard decision for me, knowing I knew who somebody was here.
Right, right, very good. And like we mentioned, you guys have a big game today. What are you most looking forward to in the 2025 FAU Owls taking on Maryland up in Maryland week one, but ultimately the rest of the season and developing as a big culture changing of a team?
I'm just excited for us to like, put on TV like what FAU's been missing for some years, winning and, unstoppable defense, a team that has like, great competitiveness and, just want to win. Like that's our main objective to this team is wanting to be the best versions of ourselves every time we go out there.
You mentioned it, unstoppable unstoppable defense, and it starts with you being the unstoppable wrecking force at that defensive line. Why should quarterbacks be scared of you as well as their offensive linemen?
I mean, I'm just, like with my size at end and, it's mainly the workforce that I have for myself. I'm gonna come and play every play harder than I play the next snap. So like every snap you're gonna see a different speed. You're gonna see it be even more harder, more intensity every single down till that clock hits 4 zeros. So like that's just what they're gonna see in a relentless and unstoppable person.
Well, you don't take the foot off the pedal, safe to say. Why is this going to be a huge season for FAU defensive lineman Wilky Denaud?
I mean, it's gonna be a good season for everybody in a whole for our team. I'm a team first guy. I'm never by myself. We got on every level of our defense dogs. Like it's like that's just nothing that's not going to be shown every night when we turn on the tape. You're going to see everybody on all levels flying around, attacking the ball. That's something we preach a lot as our defense. We're going to attack the ball. You're going to see 11 hats at the ball every single down, every single play, and that's just what you're going to see. And then it's just going to turn into us stopping a lot of people all year.
You mentioned it, a lot of dogs. Some guy said FAU had dogs last year, but something about it feels different this year. What's the biggest difference from Tom Herman to Zach Hitley?
I mean, it's just you don't no nobody likes losing. um that's just the competitive mindset everybody shares, and that's what our defense this year shares, is that nobody wants to be known as that team of 3-9. They want to change and build their own culture, and coming in with the new coach, that's everybody's mindset and goal. So we built a standard over the summer, over the winter, and it's just going to be displayed on Saturday.
Very good. And just to clarify, this is no shade at the previous coaching staff, unless if you do want to say something, the floor is yours.
Nah, there's no hate or anything towards the previous staff. I think all those people I built strong relationships with, and it's college football is a business, as you can tell. It's changing every day, and it's no hate towards them at all. Like I still talk to most of the coaching staff from last year, most of the players from last year. That's not on this team to this day, but I built strong relationships. That's what it's all about for me.
Yes, so talking about one of the guys you loved was defensive coordinator Coach Rock. What are you going to miss so much about Coach Rock as he is no longer part of the program?
Coach Rock is he's just his own self. He has no filter, and that's what I like about him. He's a very straightforward shooter, and he can joke with you, and when there's times to be serious with him, and that's the relationship you want to have. You want to be able to have fun with your coach, and then but when it's time to get serious, time to go, like you be able to switch it on.
Very good. And you also mentioned college football is changing every day with NIL, name, image, and likeness. How much has NIL helped you?
It helps you, like, not have to rely on your parents. Obviously, like, many people are blessed to have full ride scholarships and, you know, have a background of family with money and stuff like that. So being able to just, provide for yourself and also being able to help your family is very big with the NIL world with me.
Love to hear that. We also mentioned your new head coach, Zach Kidley, is so young. I'm not sure if I know he's on Instagram. I don't know if he runs or if someone does it for him, but what's that like having your head coach with like social media?
It's fun because you get to see, like, what he does with his life, and he's fired up every time he's on Instagram talking about ATFA, all about Florida Atlantic. um that's just like he wants us to be seen on Instagram and all the social medias. He's trying to put us in the best way to promote us and show like what we're going to be this year.
Talking about Instagram, the FAU football account just released you guys got some new jerseys this year. We know you're a big drip guy, and what do you love about those new uniforms?
I like that they're just classic blue and white, like the style of them, the texture of them. They're all nice. Like it's something that not many people look at, but like, having new jerseys, like you got to be able to ball out with those new jerseys. And I think that's just the message that's going to be preached is that whatever we have at this moment, like, it's time for a change for FAU.
So are they doing away with the sand jerseys and stuff?
Yeah, we got the new all white jerseys and the blue jerseys, but we can make so many combos out of them. Yeah,
Right.
like, I'm excited to see what we do for our rival games, FIU and USF and those type of games like that.
Yes, I know later today you guys are going to be in all white, but you mentioned it, a new team just balling out. What can football fans expect from FAU this 2025 season?
Scoring a lot of points, being the best defense there is in the country, also our special teams, being one of the best special teams unit, all over, you're going to see a different 180 flip of last year's team to now. And I think it starts with the standard that we've built.
Well, I can't wait to watch that, and why should teams be afraid to play you guys? Do you have a message for them?
I don't want any team to be afraid of us. I want a team to come in and give us their 100% best every single time, and we're gonna give them our best 100% of the time. And most of the time, we want to come out on the top and be that winning team. So I don't want any team to be scared of us. I want them to give us their all every single down.
Yes, sir. Well, I'm sure a lot of our linemen will still be scared of you. What's your favorite part about playing defensive line?
Just being able to fire off the ball and attack somebody every down. That's just like major a major thing for me. I want to be able to, just attack every down and, be violent and physical with my body and size.
Well, I can't wait to see you get a lot of sacks this year. We mentioned it piece and bits about FAU's new football style, but ultimately, how would you describe this football team's playing style?
Fast. And we're gonna attack. Like that's just our mentality. Every play is, we're gonna leave no doubt in every play we take.
Talking about being fast, you guys have a fast offense that you have to go up against each and every day in practice. How will that help going up a fast offense so when it comes to game time that can prepare you guys?
It's just like the offense himself, Coach Kelly has a great offense, preparing us for any type of offense that we'll see. And, that's the thing about it is you want to be the last man standing. And that offense that we practice against every single day prepares us for that with the tempo and things like that.
Yes, sir. Well, I'm sure ultimately after FAU, your goals are the NFL. What would that mean to hear your name called in the NFL draft in a few years?
I mean, it'll mean the world to me. Not many people in my family have, like with the last name, to not have taken the route that I've taken. So to be one of my first in my family to do it, it's going to be a very surreal moment.
Yes, sir. That'd be very great. Did you have a favorite NFL team growing up as a kid?
I wouldn't say I had a favorite team. I mainly like to follow players. I was a big on Chris Jones. I was big on, JJ Watt, all those different guys like that, all the different type of pass rushers there is. I don't really have a favorite team. Obviously, at the end of the year, I'm a root for Kansas City at the end of the day. Uh, been there, watched it all. So like that's just who I'm gonna root for. But at the end of the day, I don't have a favorite, and I like many different players.
Right. Well, talking about a pass rush, I'm not sure if you saw because you're so busy. Micah Parsons got traded to the Green Bay Packers.
Seeing
What,
that.
what are your thoughts on that?
I mean, overall, I think he was in a great spot as he was. I would not understand why a team wouldn't pay him the money that he has. He's had averaged over 12 sacks a year. So, I'm excited to see what he does now that he's at a new place and he has a new start. So I'm sure he's gonna, attack that really, really pretty good.
I'm excited to see what you do this season. What are your goals for yourself ultimately this 2025 football season?
Just make a name for myself and be like at the highest level possible and be on somebody's leaderboard and be in the top tens and be in the you know all sacks for the year, like all American. That's the goal every single time I step on the field.
Yes, sir. Well, I'm sure just because you play at FAU doesn't mean you're not as good as guys who play at Alabama or something, what do you want to let fans know? Yes, it's FAU. It's not necessarily Miami with the spotlight's always going to be on you, but why do you guys still have good football players on all around the field?
I mean, because it's not about the program. I feel like it's about the system you put yourself in, and I think that the system here is just as capable of being able to compete with SEC and the Big Ten and the ACC, all the big Power Five schools. So, that's really what it is for me.
Right, so you believe, well, I believe you, I'm sure you believe you guys will go out and beat Maryland today.
Yes, 100%. I mean, I think that's everybody's mindset. That's everybody's objective with this team, and you know, regardless of the conference they're in, regardless, we don't see any of that. We're going to attack them head on.
If you don't believe you're going to beat them, you shouldn't be in that locker room, safe to say.
Exactly. I mean, that's something we preach. Like, if you don't believe in our coach, if you don't believe in the standards that we're trying to build here, then there's always the door for you.
Exactly. Well, we mentioned it a lot in the interview, football this, football that, but ultimately, who are you away from the field when you're not doing football?
I'm a pretty laid back guy. I'm mainly home. If I'm not home with my friends, we're just chilling. Like, we're not really doing much because like it's just like football time now. Now it's time to go. It's time to lock in. It's time to go do something great.
Yes, a lot of great stuff coming, especially with your drip uniforms this year. We mentioned new uniforms. What are your go-to drip essentials on and off the field?
I gotta go matching color tights with the pants. Um, Probably I'm gonna do, maybe a arm sleeve, um, towel out the back. I like to keep it simple, but like, I like to be clean with it. Like, it
Still
has to
stepping.
work for me. Like, the if the tights aren't the white, then I'll rather go get a new pair of white tights. I just like to be uniform dressed and, sharp every time I step out on the field. Look good, feel good, play good.
Exactly, little details. When you step out on that field, you enter that tunnel. What is your mentality going through your head?
I kind of like to not think, going out there is just like you want to just play free. You don't want to think about many things. You want to just ball out. So I think that's just what my head goes when I'm stepping out the tunnel.
Yes, well, I can't wait to see you guys take on Maryland here today for this upcoming weekend matchup you guys got. What does your playing style look like? You mentioned it a little bit, but ultimately, like with your, are you more of for the people you don't know, spin move guy, just body that O-line man down or what?
I mean, for my size and frame, I believe that I will be able to power rush you and speed rush you regardless. That's just me though. I love stopping the run. I'll stop the run, and it could go either way. I could use finesse moves. I could use speed moves, power moves. I just have built so much of a bag of different tools, learning from Coach Lacey himself. So that's just gonna all work itself out with the game day, and having a plan of rush and stuff like that.
Last year when you guys played FIU at home, the student section was alive and they were electric, and you guys got a big win. How much does the crowd noise help you guys?
The crowd noise can help you and it could affect you. If you zone out the crowd noise, I mean, it's like you're playing at practice. Um, it it doesn't really affect me anymore. Um, it's just something that is there. Like, do you want the crowd noise? You want the fans to be involved. You want the student section to be jumping. You want the fans to be clapping and stuff like that because you want the energy of your fans to carry on to you playing on the field.
Exactly. Well, let the people know why should fans come out to FAU Stadium this year and watch you guys and be loud and ready to go?
I mean, I think the fans know like they're in need of a winning season. They know that at the times now and it's due. So I think that's just gonna be something that is gonna be fun for everybody to watch and be a part of.
Yes, sir. What has Zach ultimately preached to the locker, excuse me, this Saturday?
It's opportunity number one. You get 12 guaranteed opportunities. If you want more than that, then you have to attack every opportunity that you get head on. And, be the best you can be at every time, and we're going to be together as one.
Talking about the opportunity, a lot of guys left last year after you guys got a new head coach. Is some guy changed? How come you didn't want to enter the transfer portal and maybe scout a new school? As we mentioned at the top of the show, you had a lot of offers coming out of high school, so you had a lot of options, I'm sure, to go to a nice school, but ultimately you want to stay. What was that decision like?
It's just like I believe. I sat down with Coach Kelly when he first came in, and I told him I believed in what he is building here. I believe in the program that he's wanting to create, and I want to be a part of it. I want to be a factor into why FAU is what it is today, and I would do anything possible to, be a part of a winning program and build it up from the ground up.
Well, I'm happy to hear that, and I'm sure a lot of FAU people will as well. A friend of the program, Cameron Goggins, a defensive back, and the guy who's coming on, Derek Rogers, a defensive back. What's the secondary like this year, and how much does that help you guys when you get to the quarterback if they just have to throw the ball up because you're getting so fast, you got those guys behind you?
I take a lot of pride in, you know, allowing my secondary to have to cover for the least amount of time. And I know those guys like Duda and Cam Goggins are going to be able to come down with a few balls this year just based on the intensity we bring up front.
Talking about the secondary is more of a veteran secondary last year from guys like Bugs Brown who left. How much has Bugs maybe helped you just play defense? I know it's different positions, but click in that same way if that makes sense.
Like with them being on the secondary, if they can hold a receiver to not get open, it gives us more time to go get a sack. It gives us more time to go put pressure on the quarterback. So we kind of work hand in hand with each other.
Yes, so that is very great. Well, is there anything else you would like to let the fans know before I let you go get out of here and go get a lot of sacks here today?
Just, you guys stay tuned for this year. Be excited. Bring all the energy you guys can bring. It's going to be a fun year for all of us. We're going to see a lot of culture shocks. We're going to see a lot of upset wins for us. And we're going to, you know, put faith into people that believe into us.
Yes, sir. I can't wait. You guys heard him. Do not doubt him because you will get in trouble. Do not doubt the FAU Owls. That is your quarterback's worst nightmare. You better go hide your quarterback or he is going to get sacked by our guest defensive lineman of FAU football number 2, Wilky Denaud. Thank you so much, my guy. Best of luck today and the rest of the season.
Thank you, man.
Thank you.